Shalom, shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off this video by giving all honor, praises, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Acha Kodash. Double honors to my teachers, the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, teaching and ruling well. Peace, salutations, and blessings to the hopeful elect. Okay? Lord willing, this lesson will be edifying, quick lunch break lesson. Again, Salaka for being in the dark, but, the hopefully that doesn't get in the way of this message being proclaimed. Okay, so it says here, it says here in Exodus 5, and I'll start at 1. Trying to find the Exodus 5 and 1, and it reads, "And afterward Moses and Aaron went in and told Pharaoh, Thus said the Lord power, Yahweh Ba'ashem El Shai, power of Israel, let my people go, that they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness. And Pharaoh said, Who is the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem El Shai, that I should obey his voice to let Israel go? I know not the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem El Shai, neither will I let Israel go." All right. You see? So that's the mindset ultimately of these elites in the world. Okay? They refused, it says they forward the affliction. Let me see. I'll bring that out. Just to prove again that the modern day Egyptians are the so-called are the Edomites. Okay? Starting with the elites of this world. It says here in Jeremiah 50 and 33, "Thus said the Lord power of hosts, Yahweh Ba'ashem El Shai, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. Their Redeemer is strong. The Lord of hosts, Yahweh Ba'ashem El Shai, is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon." Okay. Again, pertaining to judgment, I'll jump to verse 40. "As the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and their neighbor cities thereof, said the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any man dwell therein." Okay, pertaining to Babylon, aka America, Mystery Babylon the Great. Okay, that's speaking of America. The land of America will become a perpetual desert, a reminder of what happens when people choose to disobey the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay, that in itself, that judgment that the Lord will bring upon America is really to make believers out of these heathens. Okay, the heathen will be forced to acknowledge and worship Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. The Lord will force the world to believe, just as the Lord made Pharaoh to acknowledge that that was the Lord. Okay, it says here, Exodus. It says here, Exodus 8. Now I want to do it to the point. It says here, Exodus 8, and I'll start at 17. And they did, so like verse 16, "And the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai said unto Moses, say unto Aaron, stretch out thy rod and smite the dust of the land, that it may become lice throughout all the land of Egypt. And they did so. For Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod, and smote the dust of the earth, and it became lice in man and beast, and in beast. All the dust of the land became lice throughout all the land of Egypt. And the magicians died, Salakif, well, they should die, but and the magicians did so with their enchantments to bring forth lice, but they could not. So there were lice upon man and upon beast. Then the magician said unto Pharaoh, This is the finger of the Most High. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he hearkened not unto them as the Lord had said. Okay, so again, even the sorcerers, those the warlocks, had to acknowledge that this is a greater power. This is the Most High working. Okay, because they have power on the left hand, but their power on the left hand is limited. Okay, and again, whether it comes from the right hand or the left hand, the Lord Yahweh, the highest, is in control. Okay, so he canceled their power to show them the power of Yahweh Bashem El Shai. And in that time, again, even those that do witchcraft, those that follow after idols, they'll be powerless. Okay, in the face of judgment, in the face of the wrath of the Lord. Okay, they will have to acknowledge that Yahweh is one. Okay, and that there is none beside him. Okay, that's what judgment will sober up everyone, because everyone is under uh, the wine. Everyone is influenced by the wine of Babylon, by the wine of Esau Edom. Okay, but the Lord, the judgment will slap reality in their face, and they will have to admit and acknowledge that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshai is the true power. Okay, it says here, just another example of the Lord showing His power. Okay, in the sight of a great king, of a king. Okay, so that was the first example, was to Pharaoh and his magicians, and now I'll bring an example pertaining to Nebuchadnezzar. It says here in the book of Daniel, Daniel 3 and 16, and it reads, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our power, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery flames, Salakia, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar, full of fury, then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than it was wont to be heated. Okay, so again, the Lord was just showing his power. Okay, he put that spirit in Nebuchadnezzar to get angry at that response. Okay, to the point where they heat up the the fire 7 times more than it should. Okay, and he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Then those men were bound in their coats, their horses, and their hats, and they were and their other garments, and were cast in the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Therefore, because of the king's commandments was urgent, and the and the furnace exceeding hot, the flames of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Okay, so the people that brought Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the fire, they were destroyed. Okay, and these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound in the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar was astonished, and rose up in haste, and spake and said unto his counselors, Did we not cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? And they answered and said unto the king, True, O king. He answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire. That's a miracle, man. They're walking in the midst of the fire, unscathed, protected. Okay, that's a spiritually synonymous to how the Lord will protect his men in the time of Jacob's trouble, in the furnace of adversity. Okay, so that was a literal furnace, but us in this time to come, we're gonna face a spiritual furnace with uh, physical temptation, physical tribulation. Okay, We're gonna have to face. We're gonna basically the same way we're gonna be thrown in the furnace of adversity to see if we truly believe. That's the hour of temptation. Okay, to see if we truly believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, and we have to have the same mindset, just as they were not careful to answer the king, and were fully persuaded that the Lord was able not only to deliver them from the fire, but also from the hand of the king. Okay, we have to have the same mindset. We will not fear men, but we will fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, which is able to destroy both soul, if both the body and the soul in hell, meaning in a bad situation, in a affliction. He's able to afflict you, okay, even in the next life, okay. So it says here, then Nebuchadnezzar says here, so like in verse 25, he answered and said, Lo, I see four men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt. And the form of the fourth is like the Son of the Most High. Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace, and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High power. Okay, he had to acknowledge the power, man. His mightiest men died, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, all walking in the fire as if nothing happened. Okay, so he said he had to acknowledge, ye are servants of the Most High, just as the people in the time of judgment, in the time of wrath. Okay, we'll have to acknowledge that prophets were among them when they see the prophecies come to pass. Everything that we've been speaking about, starting with the elder apostles and the men on down, everything that we've been prophesying. Okay, when it comes to pass, they will have to admit that we serve the Most High, the power of heaven, the power of the Creator. Okay, they will have to admit, okay, that they were wrong and that the Most High was right. Okay, because it's not about us, it's about the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay, come forth and come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth of the midst of the fire. Okay, it says here, and the princes, governors, and captains, and the king's counselor were gathered together, saw these men, upon whose bodies the fire had no power, nor was an hair of their heads singed, neither were their coats changed, nor the smell of fire was passed on them. Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, Blessed be the power of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. That's the same thing that these people will have to say. Blessed be Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Barakatah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay? You see? And the time they will have to say it. They will have to acknowledge it. Okay? You see? Who had sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's word, and yield their bodies, that they might not serve nor worship any power except their own power, which is the true and only living power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. In that time, in the time of judgment, in the time of Jacob's trouble, in the time of evil, in the day of the Lord will confound these idols and the makers of idols. Okay, anyone that worships and bows down to vanity, okay, that follows after idolatry, will be ashamed. Okay, because they will find out that their false gods that they worship have no power, have no might, and they never even existed. Okay, you see, and at that point, it's either you submit to the Lord or or you die. Okay, or you get deleted. Okay, it says here, especially how much more in the face of Yahushua. How much more, man? It says here in Philippians 2, the King James Version. It says here in Philippians 2 and 10, that at the name of Yahushua, every knee should bow, of things in heaven and things in earth. So even in the heavens, everyone's already bowing down to Yahushua. Okay, it's just on this side, on the in this realm, okay, that people are not acknowledging Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. But all this is going to change when Yahushua pierces the clouds. Every knee will bow. Everyone will have to acknowledge that this is the Son of the Most High. Okay, and again, by acknowledging that Yahushua is the Most High, Salakia, by see Satan, by acknowledging that Yahushua is the only begotten Son of the Most High, that's already uh it says you basically pass from life unto death. It's like you basically pass from death unto life. You see, Satan is playing games. Okay, so when you acknowledge and confess that Yahushua is the Son of the Most High, that means you are of the Most High. Okay, the Lord will force the world to follow after His vibration. Okay, because regardless, we belong to Him. And the soul of man, in the hands of the Most High is the soul of every man, everyone, whether they be the son of man, the son of the wicked, or the sons of God. We are all connected to Yahweh Hashem Yahshua. He's the source. He's the beginning. Okay, you see the beginning without beginning. Okay, He is the source of our life. Okay, you see. So that being said, everyone will have to acknowledge that. Okay, everyone will sober up and be in their right mind when Yahushua comes and establishes righteousness on the earth. Okay, and of course it starts by him sending his prophets. Okay, to push forth to herald his return. Okay, to herald his return and in the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua to prepare those that are going to be receiving Yahushua in their mind and in their hearts and before he returns. Okay. That being said, okay, it says here, verse 11 to close, and every tongue should confess that Yahweh Shai HaMashiach is Lord. Every tongue, not some, not every. Okay. You see? And those that refuse, they're going to be sent to the spirit realm. And when they return, they're going to be in their right mind. Regardless, you're going to have to confess. You're going to have to admit. Okay? You cannot fight the truth. You cannot change the truth. You cannot pervert the truth. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is. Yahweh, He is. And that will never change. The Most High never changes. Okay? What He stands for will never change. Okay? His prophecies will not be changed as well. Okay? The Lord is not a man that He should lie. All right? So every tongue should confess that Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach is Lord, to the glory of Yahweh, the Father. Okay? That's going to be, and just by having that vibration on the world is going to be in a way better shape than what it is now, man. In a state of confusion. Okay? The Lord is going to, Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach will bring back order on the earth and peace, stability, knowledge, faith will flourish. Okay? And that's what we're seeking for, a place where dwelleth righteousness, order. Okay? You see? The Lord will make believers out of unbelievers. Okay, we'll every soul will be forced to submit to the will of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Okay, every soul will have to confess and turn to the Lord. Okay, because He is, and He will be reverenced as He should, as the Creator. Right. Right. So, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson straight to the point. Right. I like to give all honor, praises, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kodash. Until next lesson, Shalom. Lord willing, this was edifying.